But you know, Paul's message resonated with those who had nothing else to lose. His message really brought hope to a people who had no hope. Go back in your Old Testament to the book of Job. Job explains what it is to have no hope. Job chapter 7 and in verse 6, Job makes an observation about life. He says, "My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle." We don't know what that is, really, most of us probably today. But if you've ever saw a loom, a shuttle is a portion of the loom that has a thread attached to slide from one end to the other and back and forth. As that shuttle slides, it brings a thread across. And the other threads go like this, and there's another shuttle passes through. The efficiency of operating a hand loom depended upon speed. Job says that his days are so fleeting. His life is so fleeting that if you blink, you'll miss it. And that is the way it is with a weaver's shuttle. You blink your eye, and it's already through. The Apostle Paul talks about what it means to have no hope in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, and in verse 12. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 12, Paul writes to the Ephesian Christians this. He says, "Remember that you were not at that time separate from Christ." You were at that time. Before they became Christians, the Ephesians were separated from God. Paul says alienated, an outsider, not part of the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. The world we live in, we can see it. We can see the absolute no hope the world has. All you have to do is get to know somebody in the world, and you realize that they have no hope of eternity. And if someone has no hope of eternity, I was listening to the radio the other day, and apparently there's a new suicide roller coaster you can go on to get your last thrill. Supposedly the roller coaster creates so much force that it forces your blood out of your brain and into your feet as you're traveling this roller coaster, and it kills you. Okay? So I was thinking about that, and they were saying that this roller coaster, whether it's true or not, I don't know, that this roller coaster supposedly takes terminally ill patients and gives them their final thrill in life. That's people who have nothing else to look forward to. People who believe that there's nothing more to life than this. I have a good friend who lives down on Front Street here in Marietta. He's a well-known doctor in the community, and he and I chat quite a bit. And he would never admit to it, but he's an atheist. And so his decision is, when he gets old and dies, he wants to be taken to the North Pole and fed to the polar bears. That's his mission in life. He's like, it would be so great to be kind of reincarnated in the form of a polar bear. I'm like, Doc, you're crazy. You know, Paul was talking to people who had no hope. No belief in God, no belief in the afterlife, no hope of really even achieving a lot of earthly happiness. Yet this message that Paul preached of forgiveness and hope was not well received, particularly by the Jewish people. If you go back to Acts chapter 17, you kind of see where Paul first runs into a massive roadblock by the Jewish people. Acts chapter 17, verse 6, and there's an accusation that's made here. But some of the Jews were jealous, verse 5, and taking some wicked men of the rabble, they formed a mob and set the city in an uproar and attacked the house of Jason, seeking to bring them out to the crowd. And when they could not find them, they dragged Jason and some of the brothers before the city authorities, shouting, "These men have turned the world upside down and have come here also." Oh, I wish they could say that about us. That we, the brothers and sisters in Christ at 2nd Street, could turn the world upside down. I wish that they would say that about us, that we have changed so many lives. We've turned the world upside down.